This couple had been married for 10 years. They still kissed and hugged like newlyweds. Even their son couldn't help but laugh before heading out the door. The husband wrapped his own scarf gently around his wife's neck when the woman arrived at work. She had just changed into her uniform. When she noticed a hair stuck on the scarf, she took a closer look. It was blonde. Clearly, it wasn't hers. The discovery made her uneasy, and she couldn't focus the entire morning. After work, she stared at that long hair again, deep in thought. On her way to pick up her son, she suddenly noticed one of the moms. Her hair dyed the exact same shade, but she snapped out of it quickly, deciding not to overthink it. Back home, she cooked dinner as usual. Her husband came back from work, and everything felt normal as they sat down to eat. Everything seemed perfectly ordinary, so while he was showering, she grabbed the phone again and opened the photo gallery. It was full of normal everyday pictures. The woman hesitated. Maybe she really was overthinking. The next day at work, her mind was still elsewhere. She checked the time her husband was getting off soon, so she left the hospital 30 minutes early and drove to his workplace to keep an eye on him. Soon, he walked out holding a bouquet of fresh flowers and drove in the opposite direction of home. She followed him. He drove up a mountain road. It turned out he was visiting his grandmother at a nursing facility. The woman followed him inside. The man was startled and asked why she came. He couldn't say much in front of his grandmother, so they simply sat and chatted with her for a while. Everything looked normal, but something still felt off to the woman. It all felt staged, like he was putting on a show for her. She asked a nurse, and learned that her husband had only visited once in the past 6 months. Her suspicions returned. That evening, the husband said he had a company dinner. The woman said she was going too. The husband clearly didn't want her to come, but he had no excuse to refuse. At the dinner, the man eagerly walked up to greet his boss, but the executive didn't seem to think much of him. The woman saw this and went over to introduce herself. The executive's wife immediately recognized her, the doctor who had treated her, and warmly greeted her. The woman introduced herself as the man's wife, and the conversation finally loosened up. As they talked, the woman looked at the executive's wife. Her long blonde hair looked eerily similar to the one on the scarf. Then the woman noticed one of her own patients working in the executive's home as a maid. She took a moment to chat with her. The woman confided in the maid, telling her she suspected her husband was involved with the executive's wife. The maid said she could help follow the man and find out the truth. The next day, the maid followed him in her car, and sure enough, a woman showed up next to him. She immediately called the woman and told her everything she saw. The woman drove straight to the executive's house. She saw her husband there again. He walked over and asked why she was there. The woman didn't answer. He said he was helping the executive move some things and hurried away. The woman opened the trunk of his car. Inside, she found a phone she had never seen him use before. Curious, she turned it on. Its wallpaper was a picture of a woman. She was stunned. Then she noticed the woman sitting next to the executive's wife, the very same woman from the phone's wallpaper. She was the executive's daughter.